Hi everyone and welcome to BARTA's 2024 Roundup. It's been a really exciting year for us, and looking back there's been such a lot packed into our year. Firstly, in our work with the Fire and Rescue Services, we've run our traditional team leader courses at our parent charity in Buckinghamshire, and we've also been concentrating heavily on our instructor courses. This is a relatively new offering and it really supports standardisation of and unity of the techniques and tactics for incidents involving animals across the Fire and Rescue Services. We now have 27 accredited internal instructors from 14 Fire and Rescue Services, so that is really progressing well. We've continued to run vet responder courses around the country. We've also been very engaged with the veterinary conferences that happen across the year. So the British Cattle Vets, Equine Vets, student equine veterinary associations, and also a major international conference for veterinary simulation aids. So all of these are great opportunities to demonstrate this collaborative approach to managing incidents involving animals and the significant role of the vet. And one of the key things that we did this year was to run a panel session at the Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons Fellows Day, where we discussed the role of the vet in civil emergencies and that emerging threat that we have in regard to climate emergency. And many of you will have seen an increase in flooding and wildfires. These are situations that very definitely need the support of our veterinary professionals. Whenever people are impacted by emergency or disaster, it's well known that animals will be impacted as well. And it's really important to plan and prepare for incidents involving animals as well as people. And with that in mind, we've signed an MOU this year with the Institute of Civil Protection and Emergency Management. And we really want to learn from them and also to integrate the animal component into thinking around preparing for emergencies within our communities. Now, many of the BARTA team are from fire service backgrounds, and rural safety is a real passion of ours, protecting lives and livelihoods. And this year we've been doing some collaborative work with the RSPCA to provide some really good guidelines for those that have animals in housing or are responsible for animals, so that if there was a fire or other emergency, they would have some clear understanding of what they needed to do to protect those animals or to evacuate them if that was required. So that's a really exciting piece of work this year, and we really hope that in 2025 we can share that with the wider animal community. It's been another busy year in regard to horse racing and eventing. Many of you will be aware that the British Horse Racing Authority approved some new guidelines that suggest that equipment and training for a multi-agency response is really important on an event or race day. And so with that in mind, we've been training ground staff and racecourse vets and other people that are responsible and officiate on the day. Big news for 2024 was the introduction of an instructor's course. And this will help the Jockey Club, who have sent people on this course, to actually train people when they start work on the racecourse and to develop those who are already in that position to respond to emergencies. So we're really excited about that because, again, it helps to embed this culture within these organisations, and BARTA will be there to support them. There's a growing international understanding now of the importance of dealing effectively with unwanted emergencies in sporting events when animals and people are impacted, and the benefits of having recognised techniques and incident management protocols. And so, following on from our work in the UK, we were invited to go to Saudi Arabia on the invitation of the Saudi Equestrian Authority to deliver 3 days of training to racing staff, and also to open up the idea that incidents involving animals in communities is an important aspect for their emergency response. So we're really looking forward to how that progresses, and the Saudi Equestrian Authority are looking at a barter equivalent to support themselves and to open up this conversation within the Middle East. Now, a massive privilege for 2024 was being involved with the Paris Olympics. In April, I went out to support the vet response team, doing some training with the ambulance providers, the military that were doing the logistical support, and the vets themselves that will be performing all of the key roles required to make the equestrian Olympics as safe as possible. And then in July I went out to help lead the emergency response to any equine emergency. Massive privilege for us, and it's also enabled us to form some opinions on how emergencies and how the structures of dealing with emergencies might be progressed within equestrian sport. And finally, the big event of the year for BARTA was co-hosting the 2024 conference. We'd really like to thank our sponsors and the School of Veterinary Medicine at Glasgow University for helping us to make that happen. We had over 100 delegates from around the world join us, and the major theme this year was to build a community of practice where we can collaborate and share and learn from each other. And in 2025 you will see this formal collaboration taking shape, and we're really excited about where that will lead for the animal rescue journey. So it's been a tremendously busy year, and we couldn't do it without the support of all of our instructors and our team members and our wider advisors from all of the different stakeholder groups that make BARTA a reality. And we'd just like to say a huge thank you, and we wish you all a safe and peaceful Christmas this year, and we look forward to exciting new ventures in 2025.